So you're looking to move to town and country in 2024, 2025. Well, in this video, I talk about the pro and con of moving to and living in town and country. Let's have a look. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Orlando Living with Dee, where I bring you community videos all throughout Tampa, Tampa Bay, Orlando, Greater Orlando and Ocala areas. I go to all these communities and I talk about school, shopping, dining, to kind of give you some sort of an idea where you are going to be, how far you are from the major landmarks, to give you an idea so that you can make a decision, especially when you're out of state and you have no idea, hey, should I move into the Tampa suburban area, or should I go into Orlando, or should I get a more bang for my buck and look into Ocala? Now, when I discuss the pro and con, guys, please keep in mind, a pro to me could be a con to you could be a pro to me. So there's no right or wrong. What really matters is what works for you and your family. And talking about that, the very first pro of moving to and living in town and country is the affordability when it comes to the housing sector with town and country. The average median price at the time of the shoot is about $235,000 to $240,000. When you compare that to the other surrounding suburban areas, it's a lot less. One of the reasons for that is that there's not a lot of new construction. A lot of property was built in town and country between 1958 and 1978. Actually, what happened is that about 8,000 homes that was constructed along with townhomes. So there's a lot of older properties. You're not going to find new construction, and that could be a pro or a con depending upon your situation. Now that the first pro is done, let's talk about the second pro of moving to and living in town and country. The number two pro of moving to and living in town and country is the convenient location. Town and country is located very close to the airport. You're just about 10 to 15 minutes to the Tampa International Airport. You're very close to the downtown Tampa area. The location is such that you have a lot more opportunities if you want to work out of this area, where the living expenses or where the housing expenses a lot less as compared to the other areas. So this is something to keep in mind, and that's why I say it is a great pro to be living in this area. Now let's talk about the last pro of moving to and living in town and country. One of the last pro of moving to and living in town and country is the recreational and leisure facilities that you have in and around town and country, because this has a lot of little recreational park, community parks. I'm standing right outside one such park, which has a baseball field, which has a soccer field. There's so many things for you to do, and especially when you have kids like I do. I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old boys, and trust me, I would rather bring them to the park and have them do their thing. So it's a great place to raise a family, and especially when you have a young family, this is a really good opportunity to have them, and you're not like in the middle of everything of Tampa, but you're not very far from it. So this is just one of the biggest pro of moving to and living in town and country. Now that the pro is done, let's talk about the con of moving to and living in town and country. One of the main con of moving to and living in town and country is that you're so close to the coast that, it's nice, it's beautiful. Look how sunny and a beautiful day it is, but it's also prone to the hurricane season. When the hurricane season is here, there's a lot of wind, there's a lot of rain, and then you are basically stuck on evacuation, just trying to get out of it. So that is something to keep in mind. So you always have to be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice during the hurricane season, and that may or may not work for you, especially if you have small kids. So this is why I say the pro and con is really dependent upon you. But if you love the weather, and if you love, because we do have beautiful days and it's just fantastic, come out, enjoy the day at a local recreational park and just enjoy. But then again, this is something to always be mindful of. Now let's talk about the next con of moving to and living in town and country. One of the other cons of moving to and living in town and country is the limited public transportation. If you are going to rely on your work or for your work on a public transportation, then it may not work. And for that reason, any of the suburban Central Florida, Tampa Bay would not work. There's not a really good transportation system available in any of these metropolitan cities. So that is something to always consider. And this leads me to my last con of moving to and living in town and country. The last con of moving to and living in town and country is the traffic congestion. Just like any of the suburban areas in Central Florida, Orlando, Greater Orlando, Tampa, or Tampa Bay, the traffic could be an absolute nightmare, especially during the morning hours and the late afternoon, early evening. So that is something to always keep in mind. And as I mentioned, there's not a public transportation. So this is something to always keep in mind. I hope my video brings in a lot of value. And if they do, please press that thumbs up button, show us some love. And if you are indeed looking for that brand new home, make sure to check out Orlando Home Show. That's where I bring you model homes throughout Central Florida and Tampa and Ocala areas. And make sure to check us out on TikTok, Instagram. We're bringing you some really good content to give you information, to educate you. Until the next community video, thank you for watching and bye for now.